Hey, it's Ray. Welcome back to another video. How'd you like the new intro? I am using a mic today because the sound quality is much better. I am figuring things out. Look at me go! Normally the white noise in the background completely ruins the video and I have to have complete silence, but I'm actually in a pretty loud space and I should have been using a mic the whole time, so my bad. My volume control is up and down at the moment because I am not used to using a mic, so as usual, you will be bearing with me while I figure this out, just like everything else so far. I'll also be making an attempt to put out a longer video, but what takes you 5 minutes to watch takes me 3 hours to create, so we'll see. I'm still working on that part. I've cut down quite a bit on my editing time since the first ever video I made, which took me 8 hours to create, but now it takes me about 3 hours. In the beginning, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing whatsoever. I was lucky to even know where I was. Woo, progress! I'm sure I'll look back on this one day and roll my eyes at how primitive all of this is, but for now, I am very proud of my editing. Fight me, future Ray. Okay, let's move on. We are trying something different today. A couple of you like my voice and asked me to read. So today we are looking at r/AmItheJerk. I wasn't going to do it because I am dyslexic, but you guys sit and listen to me talk for 4 to 8 minutes already, so I'll just leave room for human error and give it a shot. I'll be doing some commentary at the end of each presented scenario. They are just my opinions, and I am literally an underdone noodle cup, so I don't expect to always be right. Normally I do humorous content, but this one will most likely not be funny. Let me know in the comments what you want to see from me, and while you're at it, please like this video and hit subscribe. Just 980 to go. Yay! If you don't like Minecraft, don't worry about it too much because we won't be discussing it at all, and in the next video, I'll be playing something else. I've ran out of video games to play on my phone because I'm still avoiding learning to use my capture card. Leave your mobile-supported game suggestions in the comments. I also use a Game Boy emulator on my phone for video games, and all of the games that I enjoy are not available to me. So tell me what you enjoy and maybe I'll play it. Alright, here we go. r/AmItheJerk, because that's totally what that says. Am I the jerk for calling the police on my husband? Alright. My husband's car doesn't work and he needs money to get it fixed. He doesn't have enough money. I'm in medicine school and have been getting ready for my exams for a month now. Every month, him and his friends go on a road trip. His car's been sitting in the garage for 3 months now. He asked if he could take my car to take the guys on the road trip, since it was his turn to take them. I told him I need the car, since I have a weak immune system and public transportation might be risky, and I can't afford to get sick in the middle of my exams. He begged, saying his friends are going to say he ruined the trip, and our discussion got nowhere. The trip was last week. I had an exam the day of the trip and left at 8 a.m. I had several things to do. I stopped at the coffee shop to use the internet. I arrived at the university at 8:30 and entered the hall getting ready for my exam. After I finished, I spent a few minutes with my friends and then left. I got to the parking lot and my car wasn't there. I started freaking out, thinking I might have left the door open or something. I called my husband, but he didn't pick up. My friends immediately told me to call the police. I ended up waiting for them to ask me about what happened. The officer said I needed to come to the station to give my statement. I stayed there for 4 hours. Then I was told my car was found. My husband was driving it and was picked up an hour away from where we live. I was shocked. I was shocked and mad. It never occurred to me that he was the one who took it. I went home and waited till he got back. He was upset and didn't want to talk about what he did. The argument started after he said he made a copy of the key and didn't take it till he made sure I arrived at my exam. I yelled at him and told him it was not okay. He caused me to stress out and worry about the car. He told me calling the police was dramatic and shouldn't have gotten them involved, but I had no idea he took the car. He said he wanted to text me but forgot. He said the trip was ruined and he was embarrassed by being picked up by the police while he was with his friends. He still thinks calling the police was over-the-top reaction, but what was I supposed to do? Your husband is a child. Interesting story, though. I knew this woman whose husband pretty much did the same thing, but she knew it was her husband, and when she went to file a police report, they wouldn't let her because technically the car also belonged to him because they were married. But my cute little anecdote aside, your husband sucks and is the jerk, and you are not. The end, moving on. Am I the jerk for faking sleeping all night to see if my wife is lying? The past couple of months, my wife has been complaining about her cats. She's been claiming that the cats wake her up constantly and that she's frustrated every night that she has to get up and open the door for the cats, or the cats keep making noises, or the cats keep jumping on her. It got to the point where she started saying she wants me to get rid of them. I told her I've never seen or heard any of this, but she claims I sleep through it all. She kept telling me she was getting less and less sleep and kept acting aggressive, blaming lack of sleep from the cats, and that if I don't get rid of them, she'd leave me. I legitimately started considering giving the cats to my sister until I noticed something. One morning, she claimed she had gotten up multiple times throughout the night to help the cats. She listed a bunch of times. I thought it was weird because I had been up until 4 a.m. and she claimed that she had gotten up at 1 a.m. to open the door for them and a few times around 3 a.m. because they were meowing and jumping on her. I was in the bedroom the entire time while she slept and knew none of that had happened. Things weren't adding up, so I decided to run a test. I waited until she was going to bed. Then I let the cats out of our bedroom, lowered my phone brightness, and faked going to sleep. I just laid there in bed for the entire night, bored, but I definitely did not fall asleep. I made sure to make timestamps every 30 minutes on my phone through Discord just to be sure. I marked down every noise my cats made. One cat had jumped down from something and made a little sound at 3:18 a.m., and one ate food relatively quietly by the bedroom door at 4:57 a.m. Other than that, nothing happened. Sure enough, my wife slept from 11 p.m. until 9 a.m., and that morning she claimed she had woken up at least 7 times to open doors and from cat noises and cats jumping on her. At this point, I was pissed because she was clearly lying to me. I was exhausted and fed up with the lies, so I just blatantly called her out on it. I told her, "That's funny. I stayed up all night to monitor the cats, and they weren't even in the room last night. I have timestamps and everything, so you've been lying to me and trying to convince me to get rid of my cats. Why?" She just sat there, quietly shaking and looking pissed, and then got up and left without answering. She came back hours later and ignored me whenever I talked, and when I asked her how I'm the bad guy in this situation, she finally said that I was treating her like a child by lying about sleeping and staying up all night just to see if she was lying or not, and that making timestamps and everything as if I'm an investigator was going too far and making me an obsessive jerk. I did it because she was threatening to make me get rid of my cats or she'd leave me, and her claims didn't add up. So, am I an obsessive jerk? Wow, OP, you are a trooper for staying up all night like that. I don't think a lot of people could do that. No, you're not a jerk. She shouldn't be flipping it on you like this. Like when you catch a partner cheating and they ask why you're stalking them, just stop. There was an update, but it involved mental health concerns, so I won't be sharing that. In conclusion, the wife is definitely in the wrong. Am I the jerk for refusing to let my girlfriend get a dog because it'll upset my old man of a cat? I, a 30-year-old female, have been with my girlfriend, a 31-year-old female, for 3 years now, and we recently moved into a nice house in the country. As we are finally living somewhere with a decent-sized garden, my girlfriend wants to get a dog. She has always wanted a dog, and I have said to her that we can get one day, but not until my cat passes away. My cat, Sparky, is 14 years old, is blind in one eye, and he hates dogs. I love this cat. He's my baby, as I would love any animal that my partner and I got together. But is it unreasonable to ask that he lives out his twilight years in peace, eating his favorite food, curled up by the fire, hogging the bed, and watching tennis without getting a new puppy in the mix? My girlfriend says that I'm being unreasonable, that my cat and the new dog will be great friends, but I know Sparky, and he has always either been anxious or aggressive towards dogs. My friends and family say that if I love my girlfriend, I should let her get the dog. I do love her, and I am not against her getting a dog. I am just asking her to wait a little bit until my cat passes away. So, am I the jerk? And OP linked a picture of a very handsome boy. The girlfriend wanting the dog is definitely the jerk. In my opinion, she's being very disrespectful and manipulative. The cat was there first, and he's old. Knock it off. You can wait a year or two to get a dog. It's not that important. What is important is that the animals you already have are happy and healthy. You can't just get animals because you think it'll be fun to have them. You need to take care of them properly. And if the cat is afraid of dogs, then you shouldn't get a dog. Am I the jerk for changing my Hulu password? A few days ago, I was checking my Hulu account info for some reason, and I noticed that there were 35 active devices on my account, which is odd because it should be my family and a few friends, probably 15 to 20 devices max. I glanced around and saw my uncle's ex-fiance's iPad was one of the devices, and thought it was weird and not cool she had my account. Nobody asked me if she could use it, so I changed the account's password and deactivated all devices and decided to just put in the password myself so nobody can spread it. 3 days later, my uncle texts me this. Uncle, what's wrong with the Hulu account? Me. I changed the password and deactivated all the random devices. Uncle, okay, what's the password? Me. I'll be home in like an hour, I'll put it in for you. Uncle, just give me the password. Me. No, dude, your ex-fiance was on my account, and so were a ton of other people. I'll put in the password myself. He then said he will change all of his passwords. I told him that's fine, I don't use any of his accounts. If you want me to add my Hulu, I will. And then he just went off on me being a jerk, and it's about the principal and that he is going to take the router out of my room and cancel the Wi-Fi, and berated me about being worthless over the phone. I just want to know, am I the jerk in this situation? What? He's gonna change the passwords to accounts you don't even use? What a baby. The uncle is very entitled and childish. Let him take the router out of your room and pay for unlimited data on your phone plan. No Hulu for anyone. But if you don't have the money for that, still, OP is not the jerk. It took me a while to find one where OP was in the wrong. Most of this is really good people double checking because jerks don't wonder if they're jerks, but I think I managed to find one that's not so clear. This was really difficult to read because of how vague everything is, but I'm going to do my best. Am I the jerk for applying for the same program as my friend? So this woman who used to be my assistant and I have been friends for like 15 years. She told me a few months ago about how she was planning on applying for this awesome trades program. We are both on employment insurance right now, and before the pandemic, she had just finished a degree related to the trade, so she wants to do the trade school to be more employable. I've always enjoyed doing the trade around my house, but never studied it like she has. She's been eyeing it for a few years now, but because of being on employment insurance, she is eligible for funding for this year, which is hard to get. I looked up the program and it looked so good, I decided to apply too, and even offered to hire her as my tutor if we both get in. Here's where I might be the jerk. I think you might already be the jerk. It's a very competitive program, like 90% of people who apply don't get in, and the funding is hard to get too. They funded 2 people last year. I'm also applying for the funding. She has recently asked if I don't think that this is a little weird that she told me about her dream, and I decided that it was a good fit for me too. She seems to think I'm competing with her and might take her spot. I feel like everyone is having a hard time right now, and it's not my fault that she turned me on to something that could be a really good fit for me. Am I the jerk? Okay, when I first read this, I thought, oh, I kind of see where OP is coming from, but that's still not very nice. But now that I've read it out loud, I'm slightly horrified, because that is awful, and you absolutely are in competition with her. Reading this felt really gross, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. OP is a jerk, but that's just my opinion. If you disagree, you should tell me in the comments what you think. I'd really love to read your opinions on the scenarios that were presented today. Tell me your opinions. Tell me what you think was right, what you think was wrong. What did you think of my interpretations? Did you agree? Did you disagree? Did I not say something that should have been said? That's it for today's video. Hopefully it was a bit longer than the ones where we just look at funny pictures together. If you enjoy what I'm doing, please hit the like button, leave a comment for me, subscribe, go to a restaurant, say you too when the waiter says enjoy your meal, never come back. Stay tuned for a blooper. I'll see you next week, and goodbye forever. But is it unreasonable to ask that he lives out his twilight years in peace, eating his favorite food curled up by the fire, hogging the bed, and watching tennis? And watching tennis? And watching tennis. Okay.